Hi, I'm David Dillon. I'm the founder of Custodian Back Office. We're a boutique accounting business that specialises in virtual CFO services. And I'm really excited to tell you about our new offering, the Wealth Engine. So buckle up, I'll take you for a spin around the block. So to me, this is what it's all about. Drive your business harder and reach your financial goals faster. And I think that's what most business owners want to do. You know, it's not about getting out and pushing it. It's about pushing your foot down on the accelerator, keeping it tuned up and getting the most out of it. So I wrote the book because I started getting frustrated seeing so many small business owners making life-changing investment decisions without doing basic investment analysis. I knew that most of these SME businesses, they're focused on the wrong type of metrics. It's what we call vanity metric. It's all about sales and staff numbers and, you know, those sort of things. But ultimately it comes down to how much net profit you're reinvesting in your business and what return you're getting on it that makes your business successful. The dilemma is that small business owners are unique, right? They need comprehensive and holistic wealth management advice that includes business reinvestment, personal investments, and taking into account their lifestyle requirements, but not many are getting it. Now, you know, if you've got a job and you've got surplus income, you can't invest that back into your job, but small, medium business owners need to. So what are the alternatives to reinvesting in your business? Well, you know, often people are told, you know, you need to be conservative and, you know, take a bit of surplus cash or cash reserves out of your business and diversify by investing in other stuff. Well, you know, diversification is a whole separate topic, but these are the sort of things people are investing in: property, shares, financial products. The trouble is they're never able to quantify how much it will cost to diversify. Now, you know, that's a decision to make. You know, if I can make $100 by diversifying or $1,000 by putting all my eggs in one basket, I want to know what the risks are and can I manage them and get closer to the 1,000 than the 100. The thing is, investing shouldn't be a sliding doors moment either. There should always be a comparison, and you should be choosing between this one or multiple scenarios. So what are the problems? If you're not reinvesting enough back into sustain the capital that's been used to fund the operations, you'll end up starving the engine of fuel, right? So it doesn't run properly then. It's coughing, it's spluttering, there's no power. It's hard work, and it's going to take you longer to get to where you want to go. The opposite of that is people that hoard cash. They're too scared to invest maybe. And it just builds up as excess working capital, right? And they're not earning anything on it. If anything, it's diluting their return on equity. Those people are better off doing something with it than nothing. But we'd argue that they're better off to invest it in their company effectively than they will be to invest it in somebody else's. Ultimately, it'll impact on an adverse business valuation, and the owners will just be worse off in the long run. And the trouble is, I think a lot of people are so focused on the wrong side of the coin, right? They're worried about how much money they can take out of the business, what they're going to buy with it, that they leave their business in a state where they end up working harder for diminishing returns. What's the solution? Well, SME owners can enjoy substantially more wealth over the long term by effectively reinvesting those profits back into their business instead of investing outside. It just doesn't make sense to take cash out of an investment that could be making 20% or more and invest it in something that might be only yielding 8%. What makes the Wealth Engine so mathematically compelling? Well, it's these three things: tax arbitrage, compound effect, and opportunity cost. Now, I deep dive into them in the book. I'm not going to do that now, but that's the core of what makes it work. And what it allows you to do then is build wealth exponentially through strategic reinvestment of that net profit. And effectively, it's the same principle applied to salary sacrifice super, that, you know, the differential in the tax rates, and it allows you to compound more money and deal with the tax consequences later on. These are the keys to it. No two businesses are identical, but this framework allows you to home in and find a sweet spot. So, you know, most small businesses, to reward the owners for the risks that they're taking, you know, they've often got their houses on the line and everything, they should be getting more than 20%. You know, if you're not getting that sort of return on equity out of it, you know, it's a lot of risk for not much return. Now, there's a minimum. You can see the capital maintenance one top right of those images. If you don't meet the capital maintenance threshold, then you will send your business into decline. It might be a situation like, you know, you started with 5 trucks, right? But because you haven't been investing enough, when they've reached the end of their useful life, you can probably only afford to buy 4, right? So your business is going to go backwards. The other lever there, the gearing ratio. So that's using debt to grow the business. If you can borrow money, put it to work, and make more than you're paying for the cost of the capital, then you'll make a profit, right? So in a lot of cases, it's a really good way to grow the business and leverage what equity that you've got. And finally, the net profit after tax, right? That's obviously key input. And I go really deep in that as a, you know, fellow chartered accountant with an MBA. I've done a lot of work in those, you know, business planning, forecasting, budgeting, down to, you know, pretty granular level in the P&L. And really it's all about eliminating waste and excess and finding efficiencies to improve that so that more net profit is available. And, you know, you can, it's a mathematical formula, right? It's known as a quadrinomial algebraic expression. It's not easy to solve, right? I did 4-unit maths when I was at high school, so, you know, numbers are sort of my thing, but it's not for everyone. But it allows you to isolate things and work backwards or work forwards to work those different elements out. And you can run all sorts of different scenarios, and next thing you know, you're sort of trying to find that sweet spot for your business and your appetite for risk. This graphic here represents really the 2 different mindsets at play. So an operations focused management, they're worried about the machines. It's, everyone's working hard. But at the end of the day, they're going home absolutely exhausted, little time for improvement or anything like that. Whereas an investment focused management style or mindset, it's similar to the way that private equity firms and fund managers approach things. You know, they don't dabble too much in the hands-on everyday running of the business, but they obsess over EBITDA, the multiple, and the return on equity and return on investment. So it's just a different way of looking at it. But you know, and it ties in with all this planning work. It's all about working smarter, not harder. Now these gauges, basically this picture tells 1,000 words. And you can see there, you know, current equity is smaller. It's impacted by profit, dividends and borrowings, and turns into future equity. And in behind those simple gauges are some quite granular, detailed planning tools that feed that information up there and allow us to monitor at a high level and then dive back in down to, you know, the business level stuff. And we can change those input settings and slice and dice an infinite number of scenarios. So the Wealth Engine program, it's 3 stages. The first stage is popping the hood, having a look under it, having a look at the past performance, getting those benchmarking numbers, and then running through some scenarios to say what could happen if we did this or that, and trying to work out a path or a plan to move forward. Now, at that stage, a lot of business owners need help to actually make it happen, because there's often a significant change management exercise to undertake before the business has the capacity and capabilities to be able to dynamically manage those parts of the business. And finally, stage 3 is the routine servicing. So it then becomes a regular thing to check in, to see how we're going against the plan, to revise the plan, to keep casting our eyes forward and look for opportunities to keep growing and investing. Thanks very much. I really appreciate taking the time to watch this. Thank you.